Now, we'll get to all those details in just a minute, but it is important to understand that California Democrats are absolutely getting blasted for their inept leadership and lack of fire preparedness in the lead up to the devastating fires that have ravaged large parts of Los Angeles County, devastated areas, including the Pacific Palisades, Altadena, California, which is near Pasadena.
Welcome back to the channel today. We're diving into Kasparian's sharp critique of California's leadership, especially Governor Gavin Newsom. She's exposing serious issues, from wildfire mismanagement and infrastructure failures to misplaced priorities. From empty reservoirs during fire season to taxpayer-funded trips abroad, this isn't just about politics. It's about lives and leadership. Stick around, because even if you don't always agree with Anna, what she's saying now is a wake-up call for all of us. Governor Gavin Newsom's leadership is facing serious criticism as his handling of California's wildfire crisis reveals a pattern of incompetence and deflection. Despite promises to prioritize land management and fire prevention, investigations show that Newsom exaggerated progress by 60%, with actual wildfire prevention efforts falling far short.
Competent, while giving the appearance of someone who's poised to be a president. Now, we'll get to all those details in just a minute, but it is important to understand that California Democrats are absolutely getting blasted for their inept leadership and lack of fire preparedness in the lead up to the devastating fires that have ravaged large parts of Los Angeles County, devastated areas, including the Pacific Palisades, Altadena, California, which is near Pasadena. Now, Donald Trump in particular has been going after the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, who just keeps getting caught in various lies, including the one that you're about to hear.
California's failure to repair key infrastructure, like the Santa Ana Reservoir, which remained empty for over a year due to neglected repairs, has made firefighting efforts even harder. Instead of taking responsibility, Newsom consistently blames climate change, avoiding the deeper issues caused by budget cuts to wildfire prevention programs. This lack of accountability has left Californians paying the price for poor leadership. Kasparian's shift in perspective. Kasparian, a longtime progressive voice from the Young Turks, is making headlines for her outspoken criticism of California's Democratic leadership. Once a staunch defender of the party, she's now calling out its failures in disaster preparedness and infrastructure management. Kasparian takes particular issue with the overuse of climate change as an excuse for governance failures. She demands real accountability and action, marking a significant shift from the usual progressive narrative. This suggests that even those within the movement are starting to question the priorities and competence of their leaders.
From reporting here locally that one reservoir that serves the Palisades was not full.
And that's exactly what triggered my desire to get the investigation to understand what was happening with that local reservoir that was not a state system reservoir, which the president-elect was referring to.
Why did you say all the reservoirs were full? And then when you're hit with the facts of one of the major reservoirs being completely empty, well, that's why I'm calling for investigations. And, that's not a state reservoir. I'm going to pass the buck. Please don't blame me. It's not my fault, even though I am the governor of this state. That's who Gavin Newsom is. In every single interview that he has done amid these wildfires, if you listen carefully, all he does is look for other people to blame. Oh, it's the city government. Oh, it wasn't the state government.
LA Mayor's controversial absence. The mayor of Los Angeles is under fire for leaving the city during a critical period, traveling to Ghana for a ceremonial event while wildfires threatened her community. This taxpayer-funded trip, taken despite well-documented fire risks, highlights a serious disconnect between leadership priorities and public safety. Meanwhile, Los Angeles faces worsening homelessness, with encampments increasing fire risks and straining emergency services. The mayor's absence underscores a lack of responsibility, as leaders seem more focused on symbolic politics than addressing real issues. The bigger picture: leadership or optics. Beyond individual failures, broader cultural and political trends contribute to ineffective governance. Corporate media often shields democratic leaders from scrutiny, pushing narratives that deflect attention from real problems. Additionally, the growing emphasis on diversity, equity, and inclusion, while well-intentioned, is criticized for prioritizing identity politics over competence and results. This shift affects elections, with voters sometimes valuing symbolic representation over strong leadership. In California, this has created a cycle of ineffective governance, where optics matter more than solving urgent crises.
No. You're the top dog, politically speaking, in the state of California, and he has failed the people of California, not just in regard to the current wildfires, but he has consistently failed the people of California in response to these wildfires, the aftermath of the wildfires. I mean, just take a look at what happened in Paradise, California. Okay, the so-called Camp Fire, which absolutely destroyed that community, robbed people of their homes as a result of PG&E, one of the electrical utilities here in this country, in this state. He bailed them out. I mean, this is who Gavin Newsom is. We don't need an investigation. We don't need an investigation because we know exactly what happened with that empty reservoir. And the reason why that reservoir was empty.
A call for accountability. Kasparian's critiques reflect a growing frustration among Californians demanding accountability for leadership failures. She calls for resignations and investigations, arguing that the Democratic Party's progressive values ring hollow when faced with real governance challenges. California's environmental policies, though well-intended, have also backfired. Strict regulations have stalled essential developments like water reservoirs and housing, worsening wildfire risks and contributing to urban decline. The devastating Camp Fire tragedy exposed the consequences of outdated infrastructure and regulatory gridlock, leading to immense loss of life and property. As homelessness rises and public safety declines, many Californians feel abandoned by leaders more focused on ideals than practical solutions.